can remember it was getting real close to Christmas when we were thinking of moving, but my mother had an aunt and uncle who lived in town, and they had a girl about 4 years older than I, and that aunt and uncle really liked me very much, and I used to go to their house quite frequently. And somehow I found out that there was going to be a Christmas party at the school.
And this is when you moved to Linden, is that right?
No.
Oh, this was in Iowa.
Out in the country. Here I am, 3.5 miles from town. How did I find out they were going to have a party at school? And I didn't go to school yet. But maybe I heard it at church. The kids talked in Sunday school or something. How did I find out they were going to have a Christmas program at school? I wanted to go to that program. It was in the afternoon. It was in the school day. And I finally convinced my mother I should go, and the snow was on the ground about that deep. And I said, they said not to take a ride with anybody. And I don't know how I thought I could walk to town. I mean, being 5 years old. And I don't know how they dared let me go. I said that to my mother later on. Mom, how did you dare let me go? She says, well, you know what you were like. And so she let me go. And she said, but my mother, she said, scolded me for letting me do that. But I got to the corner, and the man, here come the man with a horse and buggy, and of course that's the only means of transportation in the wintertime in 1918. I mean, the cars couldn't go on the roads. There was no transportation such as that. But here he came with a buggy, and it was only, one of these just for 2 people in. It wasn't just one seat. And he said, what are you doing? Well, I said, I'm going to school. Well, how are you going there? I said, well, I'm going to walk. Well, would you like to have a ride? And I looked at him, and he was really nicely dressed, and his beard trimmed down to here, just, in the nicest V. And I thought, it's all right, because my folks know him, and he's all right. Yeah, I'll go with you. And so I don't know how he got me into that buggy, because those buggies were way up high, and even the first step, you'd have to be a big person in order to do it. He must have had to haul me up and put me on that buggy, and he took me. And he said, well, he asked me what I was going to do, and I said I was going to school to the Christmas program. And so he was going to town, so I thought I would just get to the town and I'd have to walk on to the school, but he took me right to the school. And I had a handkerchief for one of my mother's cousins, and I had a picture of myself for the other one. And one of them lived on a farm that I wouldn't know how to get to, but the other one lived in town. But when I got to school, of course, I got put in a class with one of the cousins. And I was there. Then when I was there, then it was, time for giving of the gifts. And I said, but I got one for the other cousin in the other class. Oh, you just stay here, they tried to keep me there. No, I have to go there and give her. So she finally had to let me go. I don't remember anything of how we got home, but I know that this aunt and uncle, they liked me so much that when we moved to Washington, they adopted a little girl and they named her Lois. But, so I was a little rascal, but dearly loved by my great aunt and uncle. And they had a girl, and her name was Edith. So yeah, Edith was born that summer in June, and they were talking about naming her. And my mother said, I think it'd be nice if we named her Edith, after Edith Cavell. She was a nurse that did very much for the soldiers during the war. And I said, oh yes, name her Edith, name her Edith. And that tried to shut me up.
And that was your little sister, right?
So I did get a sister named Edith. But that was just one of my little episodes. I also